So let me start with a little story about how conferences have impacted me and been really, really dynamic opportunities for my business. So I, many years ago, was working as a law professor in the Midwest, and I went to a conference in Wisconsin, in Madison, Wisconsin, at the University of Wisconsin. And as part of my work as a law professor, one of the things we have to do, or maybe not have to do, but is good for your work, is to go to conferences and talk about ideas you have for research and written work, like articles and that kind of thing. So I went to a conference with an idea of actually somewhat of a unusual idea about the connections between science and law and human behavior, and how a combination of all these things could explain why things go viral online and the crazy things people do when stuff goes viral online, and why some people try to get a monopoly on memes after they go viral. So this wasn't a fully developed idea by any stretch. It was something I had been thinking about. And when I went and gave this presentation about what I was thinking about, it did not go over well. In fact, someone afterward told me this is really kind of a silly idea. It's not worth writing about. I don't get it. And that means you shouldn't write about it. And I was a little disappointed, a little dejected about it, but I kept going. I not just kind of thought about it and researched it, I started writing it. And I started writing this article. So I went out and presented again at another conference, this time I think I was in Vermont or New Hampshire. It was somewhere in that general universe in New England. And I talked about at that time it was a paper, and I said to the audience there, I gave this presentation before, it didn't get great feedback, but I still feel pretty strongly about it. And at that conference, there was a woman there who suggested that if I was looking for ways to leverage my idea and figure out how to gain some traction for this particular topic that was a little unusual, that I should submit it to this award competition. And that award competition identified the best articles in the world on trademark law and things related to like the trademarks and competition. I was a little skeptical because this is, keep in mind, an article that multiple people had told me was silly and I shouldn't write it. I had never heard of the competition before either, but I entered that article and another into this competition that gets submissions from all around the world, again, to identify the best topics, best articles in the world on a trademark law topic. And that year, first year I'd ever heard of it, submitted 2 articles on 2 completely different topics. I both won the competition and with for the other article. And the thing that I had started writing that everybody told me I shouldn't write was named the 3rd best article in the world on a trademark topic. And I was talking about memes and talking about the way people act when it comes to memes and trademark law. And that article that I started out as an idea as a conference actually became several other things. So writing that piece and submitting it and winning that award, some people said, hey, you ought to write, kind of like a public piece, a public article on this same topic. So I wrote that article too, which went up on theconversation.com, which is kind of like a CNN or time.com where they have articles from experts and professors on different topics. And that led to a TEDx group reaching out to me and saying, hey, we have a TEDx event coming up. We're thinking about inviting someone to talk about memes. And right now it's between you and the person who invented the word meme, and we wanted to talk to you. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll talk to these folks. There's no way they're going to invite me to give a TEDx talk on memes when they could invite and have the person who invented the word. But as it turned out, they really liked the academic topic, and then they liked the way I wrote about it publicly. We had really good engagement over the phone and that kind of thing, and I was selected to give a TEDx talk in Atlanta, Georgia in 2019 on the topic of the same thing people had told me a couple of years ago at a conference that I shouldn't write. So my point is with conferences that taking that first step of talking about your ideas, your work, your business, your projects, even if it's something that, isn't resonating that much with an audience. You never know what could happen from those things. And since giving that TEDx talk, there's been, I can't tell you how many different opportunities I've gotten just from that one thing. And it would not have happened without, frankly, both of those conference experiences. The first where people told me, hey, you really shouldn't do that. The second where I said, hey, I went to a conference, people told me I shouldn't do it. I'm doing it anyway. Do you have any suggestions? And someone said, hey, enter it into this